Hello. I just thought I would take a few minutes to just video the garden because today it's just particularly pretty and nice, and I just wanted to share a little happiness today. So I'll just take you around a little bit. This is the kitchen garden. Most of the herbs are grown here. A few flowers put in, but everything's growing good now. Lilies are starting to pop out. This is the newest garden bed over here. Things are growing super well, but I'm still working on that. It still has a lot of empty spaces to fill, but it's looking really nice. Got some Peruviana zinnias. Those are really nice. I like those a lot. Those are starting to flower. Winter squashes are going crazy with all the rain. Potatoes are still growing. Asparagus, I finally just let it go. We got plenty this year, but I'm just letting it go so it can fern out and give us more next year. We got quite a bit. It's a flower garden. It's got mostly zinnias and cosmos in there with a few other things in the background. Got a few winter squash tucked away back here in the back. They're starting to grow back there. Today we got 2.5 inches of rain, and some of the corn went flat, but it's starting to pick up again. As you can see, the corn is laying down, but it's starting to tassel, so I had to come out and tap the tassels, and hopefully they'll result in some corn. The winter squash are just going crazy. There's a lot of winter squash. This is butternut. You can see some down in there, kind of in there. And the second mound of butternut. We like butternut, so. So in between the corn, we've got black-eyed peas and some Spanish black beans. They're growing pretty well. All right, let's see. This monster over here is spaghetti squash, and there's a ton. And there's one. This one's a new one. Actually it's a cheese squash. You use it for making pies and such. We'll see how it goes. I haven't seen any squashes on it just yet. Back in the distance, there's watermelon and honeydew. They're starting to spread out now. Fruit trees are doing pretty good. There's a lot of small peaches, but this will be the first year we actually get peaches, so, you know, I'm just glad there are some on there. Our apple tree decided to do that. I guess that's okay. It'll keep the branches low so we can pick apples someday. And I put some weights on the plum tree. It kind of did the little lean thing. We had that big storm, but the weights are just keeping the branches from growing vertically and more horizontally, just because it's easier to pick once it starts putting some plums out. So that's why it looks like that. It's not yard art. The lilies are all starting to bloom. So these are the LA hybrids, and they smell like suntan lotion. They're always my favorite. The canna lilies are starting to come out. Those are really pretty. Right there and right there. They come back every year. It smells like I'm at the beach. Lots of sunflowers. They're getting big. These are getting ready to bloom. This is Liatris. It's a Texas native. It's a prairie native. They do really good. They love the sun. They're going to be purple. Now, here's the wildflower rock garden. We've got, it's kind of transitioning into summer flowers. So we got some Drummond phlox. Those have been going since spring. I've got black-eyed Susans, and purple coneflowers are starting to come out right now. This is their time. So getting ready to have a whole bunch of those. We've got strawberries in the middle with some small blueberry bushes on the corners. And here's another strawberry patch. There's got a few more starting to grow again. You can see the flowers coming out. And morning glory vine took off. We'll be seeing lots of pretty purple flowers real soon. And columbine. Blackberry bushes, so far we've gotten about 5 cups of blackberries. Not a lot, but we'll take whatever we can get this year. The weather was not kind to them. So here's the cantaloupe. They're just starting to take off now. Corn. And Spanish black beans and what they call lazy wife white beans. Basically, it's like a northern white bean. You can put them in soups or make pork and beans or whatever you want out of them, but have those grow in between the corn rows. My crazy sunflower plant is leaning because we got too much rain. But these are the guardians of the garden here. Hopefully the sunflower will stand up tomorrow. Parsley's gone to seed and flowering. Those things have been covered with all sorts of bugs and bees. Peas are pretty much done. Green beans are doing their thing right now. Having to go out here and pick like every other day, every 2 days. So probably need to pick them tomorrow. Tomatoes are going crazy. They are huge with all this rain. So we got cherries. I mean, look, these are supposed to be cherry tomatoes. Well, they're pretty big cherry tomatoes. I don't know. These are the small Mexican currant tomatoes. They're really tiny, like bite size. I planted just 4 plants this year because they have so many tomatoes on them. And most of the tomatoes are paste tomatoes because that's what I used mostly. So, but they're pretty loaded. These are the San Marzanos. These grow really, really good. So there's a cluster right there. But they are just really good for Texas. I've had really good luck with them. And they're just loaded. Look at that. I mean, everywhere. know this is a bad video, y'all. These are my giant tomato, my beefsteak tomatoes, but they're always late to the party. They're starting to get a couple, but I don't see too many just yet, but we'll get them. They're always the last ones to mature. So you got eggplant. Got a couple of them going. I always get more eggplants in the late summer, early fall. Alright, so you got peanuts. And down at the end I got tomatillos, but I have them on a tomato stake rather than having them spread out on the ground because they will take over. The lettuce, starting to get lettuce trees. They're bolting, so not too long till lettuce season's over. Still have a little bit on the Swiss chard and the collards, a little bit on kale. They're gonna start dying out though. It's getting warm. This is the pepper row. They're finally taking off. We had some struggles with peppers this year, but I think we're finally getting there. We lost a few plants, but we got quite a few jalapenos growing now. Well, maybe not on that plant so much. They got flowers. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few there. They're just starting. They're just getting started. So I actually had carrots go to seed, which is weird because they're usually biennials and it takes 2 years for them to go to seed. But there you are. Probably because it was so cold. Maybe that's tricked him into thinking it was 2 years. This is what's left of the carrots. There's still probably a good 20 pounds of carrots in there. Squash, we got about 4 squash so far. They're just getting started too. But you're getting there. This is a baby butternut. Baby butternut. Oh. We got a weird, those two are growing together. That's so weird. That happens every now and then. These are some dwarf sunflowers, but they create some pretty big sunflower seeds. This is my first year growing them, so we'll see. They're only supposed to get a couple feet tall. Ooh, it is mushy over here. The chickens are like, what the heck happened? They're pretty upset. They can't come out. And they're muddy. They're a muddy mess. So over here we got the cucumbers. They're taking off. So I got those on a trellis. It's kind of hard to see, but we've got dill, and then right behind it we've got cucumbers. It's just kind of squishy over there. So I got slicing and pickling and some baby gherkin style back there. We'll see how it goes. I think they'll do a lot better this year than last year. There's the raspberries. They're pretty loaded. They're not ripe yet, but we got a whole bunch of them. So that's one thing that did really well this year. better than the blackberries, but well, you win some, you lose some. The grapevines, they started out really well, and then we got that freeze and all this rain, and they're just not sure what to do. So, you know, pretty much this year we're not going to get any grapes, but that's okay. They're still young. So this one had a whole lot of grapes on them, and then we got that late freeze and it killed all of them. So what can you do? Just let them grow and get healthy this year, and next year hopefully we'll get some grapes. Got lavender. Oof. Oh look, the asters, they actually started to, oh, just got a few. Those usually don't bloom till later on in the summer. I guess all the rain is just helping them. It's got a few cactus growing in here. My little cactus garden. Not much. This is Dad's thinking chair. It's actually a sinking chair right now, because if you sit on it, that's what it's going to do. So, here's the fig tree. We won't get figs this year, but maybe next year. Yay, fig. Scallions. Not scallions, what are those? What am I thinking of? Shallots. Shallots. I just dug up all the garlic, and I didn't even dig up all the garlic because I think some of it, it was so wet that some of the foliage died back and I couldn't find it. So I'm short on some garlic, but maybe they'll pop up again. I spy a little winter gourd over there. These are mystery gourds. The person I bought seeds from just gave me a package of mystery gourds, so I planted. So we'll see what grows. This is what I got on the garlic. Gotta let them dry and cure for a while. So we got about 50 bulbs. I planted 80, so not sure where the other 30 went. They were all growing really well until, of course, all that rain hit. So I think they're down under the ground. We just have to get them later. That's what's left of the onions that were just picked. I went ahead and braided up all the other onions, so they're in the basement. And let's see. And more lilies. This poor tree, I thought it died. This is a lime tree. I got the seeds from Kat and Derek, and I thought that thing was just dead as a doornail, but it is tough, and it came back, so we'll see. These oak leaf hydrangeas are really nice. I bought a couple of those this year, plopped them in. So, really good for a east facing or south facing with some shade. A little pot. Sedums are right there. Those always grow really well. Yep, and we're coming full circle. This space, we had all of the plants, the bushes I planted here last fall. They all died from that super freeze. So this is kind of a work in progress, but next year we'll have this one a little fuller. Those are coral bells. Those are really pretty. They like east facing, some shade. So this is called rooster grass. It's supposed to be kind of a reddish color. It looks dead, but it's not. And there we go. Drift roses, the apricot drifts. They're still going. All right, well, that's it, y'all. Have a good day.